amazing afternoon to our beloved listeners and our grade 8 learners of Davao de Oro. You are listening live to Z Radio, 88.5 MHz, 𝗕𝗰𝗹𝗀𝗲, and you are with Teacher 𝗕𝗰𝗵𝗲, your humble companion for this hour, the holy hour. Time check is it's already 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Time check is brought to us by the DepEd Davao de Oro Division with its tagline, Pioneering, Propagating, and Producing. Good afternoon once again, learners. Thank God that we've surpassed 2020 and reached year 2021 victoriously by God's grace. It's nice to hear that we are fine and good amidst the threatening pandemic. Okay, let's settle ourselves. Hence, we'll now start with our lesson. Let me ask some question. Number 1, what is the advantage of acquiring electronic gadgets at home? Yes, Gelay? Okay? Yes, you are able to accomplish our household chores easily. Okay, let's give 3 bagsak for Gelay. Any idea? Yes, Wilbert? You're raising your hand. Very well said, Wilbert. Thank you. Another hand. Let's give 3 bagsak for Wilbert. Okay. Question number 2. Are you familiar with the different tools used in troubleshooting or repairing computer? Yes, Paul. Okay, you are correct, Paul. 3 bagsak for Paul. Anybody who can guess of what will be our topic for today? Yes, Hope. Exactly. Let's give Hope 3 bagsak. Anyway, before discussing our lesson for today, let me read to you our first objective or our objectives at the end of our lesson that you are able to define tools and equipment. Second objective, identify the different types and their classification of each tool. And number 3, determine the common faults and the proper care and maintenance in using hand tools. So our topic for today is all about the basic tools and equipment in Computer System Servicing or CSS. Let me ask you another question, class. What comes into your mind when you encounter the word tool? Okay, tool is a handheld device or apparatus used to carry out a particular function. While equipment, when we say equipment, is made up of circuitry that used for a particular purposes. Okay, let us now consider the basic hand tools and electronic equipment that our technician used in repairing or troubleshooting the personal computer. So learners, lend me your ears. Hence, I will discuss first the different types of basic hand tools. The first basic hand tool is what we call the driving tool. When we say driving tool, it can be a screwdriver. When we talk of screwdriver is designed to insert and tighten or loosen or remove screws. And their usage for the screwdriver, this comprises a head or tip which engages with a screw, a mechanism to apply force for rotating the tip, and some way to position and support the screwdriver, the tip of which is shaped to fit a particular type of screw. Screwdrivers are classified into three. There are three classifications, one of which is what we call slotted screwdriver. When we say slotted screwdriver, this is used to drive or fasten negative slotted screws. And the second is the Phillips screwdriver. This is used to drive or fasten positive slotted screw. This is a screwdriver that could take greater torque and could provide tighter fastening. The third classification of screwdriver is what we call jeweler's screwdriver set. This is a set of small screwdrivers composed of slotted and Phillips screwdriver. So those are the classification of screwdriver. So let's proceed now to the next, which is the soldering tools. Soldering tools again are classified into three. First is what we call soldering iron. Soldering iron is a device for applying heat to melt solder or attaching two metal parts. This is composed of a heated metal tip and an insulated handle. For electrical work, wires are usually soldered to printed circuit board or the PCB. So that is what we mean by soldering iron. The second classification is the soldering tool stand. When we say soldering tool stand, this is a place where soldering iron is placed during usage. This will keep the soldering iron away from flammable materials. The stand often comes with a sponge used in cleaning the tip of the soldering iron. And the third classification is what we call the soldering tool. The soldering tool means used in removing soldered wires and components on printed circuit board for troubleshooting and repair purposes. So that is all about the soldering tools. So soldering tools, as I said, is the second type of the basic hand tools. Okay, how are you now, class? Are you still listening? Okay, we will now continue. Another basic hand tool is what we call the splicing tools. I know you're familiar with these splicing tools since we have this one at home. There are three types of splicing tools. The first is what we call the long nose. Long nose is used for holding, bending, and stretching the lead of electronic component or connecting wires. So this is how it looks like. Soldering long nose. The second splicing tool is what we call the side cutter. Side cutter is a wire cutting pliers, though they are not used to grab or turn anything but are used to cut wires. It is being emphasized here, used to cut wires, not used for holding. Another one splicing tool is what we call wire stripper. Wire stripper is a pair of opposing blades, much like scissors or wire cutters, but this is used to cut insulation without cutting the wire inside the insulation.
The Radyo Z-eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicon's Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
So that is the wire stripper. Another basic hand tool is what we call the boring tools. There are also 3 classification of boring tools. The first is what we call 12-volt mini drill. What do you mean by 12-volt mini drill? 12-volt mini drill is used to bore or drill holes in the printed circuit board or PCB with the sizes from 1/32 feet to 1/16 inches, rather, not feet. The second boring tools is what we call portable electric drill. Who among you able to see or familiar with portable electric drill? Okay. If you have not seen portable electric drill, maybe you have seen but you were not able to identify that is portable electric drill. What is meant by portable electric drill? Portable electric drill is used for boring holes in plastic or metal chassis with the use of drill bits having sizes from 1/6 inches to approximately 1/4 inches. And the third boring tools is what we call the metal files. Metal files is classified also as the boring tools. In what way? Okay. From the definition itself, this is another hand tool that having a series of sharp parallel ridges or teeth. Most files have a narrow pointed tongue at one end to which a handle can be fitted. There are classification also of the boring tools or the metal files. Another term is also called rat tail file, which is gradually tapered and used for many tasks that require a round. So that's why it is being called as the round file. So these 3 are classified as the different classification of metal files. Another basic hand tool is what we call the cutting tools. Cutting tools, there are 2 types of cutting tools, the utility knife and the hacksaw. Okay, let us define first the utility knife. Utility knife is a common tool used in cutting various trades and crafts for a variety of purposes, while the hacksaw is used for cutting metals. Some have pistol grips, which keep the hacksaw firm and easy to grip, and the other one has the small handheld hacksaws that consist of a metal arc with a handle that fits around a narrow rigid blade. That is hacksaw. Another basic hand tool is what we call the auxiliary tools. Auxiliary tool, the example of this is, or application is the magnifying glass. Magnifying glass is, what do you think is the use of the magnifying glass? This is, anybody who can describe? Yes, is a convex lens or lens which is used to produce a magnified image of an object. The lens is usually mounted on a frame with a handle. And the inventor of this magnifying glass was Roger Bacon. He was the original inventor of magnifying glass. A magnifying glass works by creating a magnified virtual image of an object behind the lens. Some magnifying glasses are foldable with built-in light. Another auxiliary tool is what we call the paintbrush. Paintbrush is also classified as auxiliary tool. Paintbrush means, or this is made of bristles set in handle and used for cleaning dirty parts of a circuit or an object. So we are familiar with the paintbrush. Okay, are you still listening, class? Maybe you are already sleeping. Okay, so thank you so much, class. Even in this holy hour, as I've said, you are still alive and kicking. Okay, since we are done with the basic tools, so let's proceed now to the electronic equipment. By the way, when we say equipment, equipment means yes, anybody from the class? Okay, it is made up of circuitry used for a particular purposes. So, electronic equipment is also needed. There are types of electronic equipment. The type of electronic equipment for the technician, particularly in the repairing or troubleshooting, this is very necessary or essential, is what we call volt-ohm milliammeter. The volt-ohm milliammeter, this is an equipment that combines three functions. As a voltmeter that measures both AC and DC voltages, and an ohmmeter that measures resistance. And another function of the voltmeter is the milliammeter. This is used to measure small amount of direct current or DC current. Okay, so much for the tools. We will now tackle this afternoon on the common faults in using the hand tools, because it is necessary for us to be aware of the different proper care and maintenance. But the common fault, we will discuss first the common fault in using the hand tools. Like for example, the pliers. These are the things that you have to consider when you use pliers. There are 5 points that you have to consider. First, do not increase the handle length of pliers to gain more leverage. Use larger pair of pliers or bolt cutter if necessary. The second caution, do not substitute pliers for a wrench when turning bolts and nuts. Pliers cannot grip these items properly and might cause a slip and create an accident. The third, caution. Never use pliers as a hammer on the handle. Such abuse is likely will result cracks or breaks on the handle of the hammer. Another one is cut hardened wires only with pliers designed for the purpose. And the last is always cut the wires in the right angle. Never rock from side to side or bend wire back and forth against the cutting edges. The second, another common faults in using the hand tools, especially on the screwdrivers. So these are the things that you have to consider. Never use screwdrivers as a pry bar, chisel, and punch stirrer or scraper. Another one, never use screwdrivers with broken or worn out handles. Hinge screwdrivers of these kinds should have tags to indicate that it is already defective. And the third, never use pliers on a screwdriver for extra leverage. Use wrench or screwdrivers specifically designed for a purpose.
The Radyo Z-eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Arquicon's Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, 𝗘𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗀𝗀 Builders Corporation, 𝗕𝗰𝗯𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀 Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And another common faults, especially in also using the utility knives or blades. These are the items that you have to consider. Do not use dull blades. You know what is dull? Kanang habol. Because they require more force. Thus are more likely to slip. So there's a tendency nga ma-slide siya kay habol. Samad pa ka. Another point. Replace the blade when it starts to tear instead or cut. So you are going to change the blade of the cutter or the cutter. Another consideration, never leave a knife unattended with the blade exposed. Then don't bend or apply side loads to blades by using them to open cans or loosen tight cover of container because blades are brittle and can snap easily. So it can easily be damaged. So when we say brittle, madali ra siya mabali, madugmok. So those are the things that you have to be cautious, or the common fault that we are using, because some of us use, instead of can opener, we are using the utility knives, and it is not safe here. Okay, so let us proceed now to the proper care and maintenance. In the proper care and maintenance, there are 5 items that you have to consider or take a look on it. First, clean the tools immediately after using. Number 2, keep the tools in their proper places. Number 3, maintenance. Always cover the sharp pointed tools. And second to the last, check the tools and equipment if they are in good working condition before using it. And the last but not the least, handle and use the tools properly. Okay, any question? Or do I make clear with the topic I've discussed with you this afternoon, class? Okay, if you have no more question, let's have an activity or the puzzle activity. So, this is what you are going to do. Group yourselves into 5. So, what the mechanics will be, you may now start counting from 1 to 5. All numbers 1 will be grouped as group 1, and all numbers 2 will be the group 2, so on and so forth. Okay, let's start now. Okay, since you are done, this is what you are going to do. Every group must have a representative. And get your envelope here. Then inside the envelope were the cut-out papers. From the cut-out papers, you can form a word or words. Once you've created a word, discuss it among your group within 2 minutes. And you will assign somebody to do the reporting. Okay, if you have no more clarification, time starts now. 2 minutes. Okay, the first group who can present the result of their activity will be given highest points and followed by the next group. Okay, are you all done? Okay, as I said, the first group who can present their activity will be given highest points. And okay, group 5, able to come up with the result. Next, group 3 also. They are done. Group 1. Okay. And the last, the group 4. We still have group 2. Okay, sige. So since everybody are done with the activity, may I ask every group to pay attention to the one who do the reporting. Any group who are not listening or caught talking with their classmates, your points will be deducted and be added to the group reporters. Is that clear, class? So each group will be given 30 seconds for the reporting. Okay. Yes. Let's start with group 5. The word they created was Phillips screwdriver. Okay, describe. Explain now. Okay, congratulations, class, for your very comprehensive report. This means that you really understand the lesson. 5 bagsak to the groups who have reported comprehensively. Okay, thank you so much for the activity. This time, get 1/4 sheet of paper for a short quiz. Okay. I will read the question only twice, so please listen carefully. And wrong spelling wrong. Write the correct answer on your paper. Okay, very good. So let us now start with our quiz. Are you all now ready? So no more unnecessary things. Only your 1/4 and ball pen. Number 1 question. Which equipment does not belong to the group? I'll repeat. Which equipment does not belong to the group? A. Screwdriver. B. Long-nose pliers. C. Diagonal cutter. And letter D. Side cutter. I'll repeat. A. Screwdriver. B. Long-nose pliers. C. Diagonal cutter. And D. Side cutter. Number 2 question. What is the reason why threads become stripped? What is the reason why threads become stripped? A. Screws are over-tightened. B. Screws are heated. C. Screws are molded. And letter D. Screws are painted. I'll repeat. A. Screws are over-tightened. B. Screws are heated. C. Screws are molded. And letter D. Screws are painted. Am I too fast, class? Okay, so I will read it slowly. Number 3 question. What equipment is or are used for safety? Repeat. What equipment is or are used for safety? A. VOM. B. PPE. And C. OHS. Or letter D. All of these. I'll repeat. A. VOM. B. PPE. C. OHS. And letter D. All of these. Number 4. Which is not a part of the group? A. Soldering iron. B. Desoldering tool. C. Soldering stand. And letter D. Wire stripper. I'll repeat. Question number 4. Which is not part of the group? A. Soldering iron. B. Desoldering tool. C. Soldering stand. And letter D. Wire stripper. Number 5 question. Which hand tool is used solely for cutting metals? A. Utility knife. B. Saw. C. Magnifying glass. And letter D. Paintbrush. I'll repeat. Which hand tool is used solely for cutting metals? A. Utility knife. B. Saw. C. Magnifying glass. And letter D. Paintbrush. Okay, number 6. Which tool having a series of sharp parallel ridges or teeth? A. Metal files. B. 12-volt mini drill. C. Portable electric drill. And letter D. Flat file. I'll repeat question number 6. Which tool having a series of sharp parallel ridges or teeth? A. Metal file. B. 12-volt mini drill. C. Portable electric drill. And letter D. Flat file. Number 7. Which tool that is parallel in width and tapered in thickness that used for flat surface and edges? A. Metal files. B. 12-volt mini drill. C. Portable electric drill. And letter D. Flat file. I'll repeat question number 7. Which tool is parallel in width and tapered in thickness, used for flat surfaces and edges? A. Metal files. B. 12 mini drill. Letter C. Portable electric drill. And letter D. Flat file. Okay, I'll repeat letter B. 12-volt mini drill. Number 8 question. Which tool is tapered in width and thickness, coming to a point and is narrower than the standard and used for filing inside of rings? A. Metal file. B. Half round file. C. Flat file. D. Round file. I'll repeat question number 8. Which tool is tapered in width and thickness, coming to a point and is narrower than the standard and used for filing inside of rings? A. Metal file. B. Half round file. C. Flat file. And D. Round file. Number 9, second to the last question. Which tool is also called a rat tail file that is gradually tapered and used for many tasks that require a round? A. Metal file. B. Half round file. C. Flat file. And D. Round file. I'll repeat. Which tool is also called a rat tail file that is gradually tapered and used for many tasks that require a round? A. Metal file. B. Half round file. C. Flat file. And D. Round file. The last number. Okay, last number. Number 10. A handheld device that used to carry out a particular function. A. Screwdriver. B. Equipment. C. Cutting tool. And D. Tool. Okay, I'll repeat question number 10. Blank is a handheld device that used to carry out a particular function. A. Screwdriver. B. Equipment. C. Cutting tool. And letter D. Tool. Okay. Everybody, stop writing now. Let us check your paper. Okay, let us now check your answer and check your own paper honestly. Are you ready now, class? Okay. Number 1. The answer is screwdriver. Yes, screwdriver. Number 2. Over-tighten. You say over-tighten, kanang nasubraan o sira o guot. No? Number 3. Answer. VOM or volt ohm milliammeter. Number 4. Wire stripper. Wire stripper. 2 words na siya. Number 5. Hacksaw. Hacksaw. Number 6. Metal files. Metal files. 7. Flat file. Flat file. 8. half round file. Half round file. Number 9, round file. And number 10, tool. Tool. Okay, count the numbers of correct now. Okay, any question or clarification, class? If you have some question, just reserve it, or you can send it to your teacher, or you can text it to your teacher. Okay, that's all for today. Until next hearing, stay safe and God bless.
Radyo Z-eskwela Executive Committee, the school's Division Superintendent, 𝗕𝗰𝗹𝗲𝗀𝗀, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan, OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. 𝗘𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗀𝗃, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D. Yu, Donna D. Bolfer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian and Hara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Lee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.